Imagine living in a country where the local currency is losing value every week. People are paid in it, but almost no one wants to keep it. Shops begin posting prices in another currency. Savings move into it. Even everyday trade slowly starts to rely on it. Over time, the weaker money quietly loses its role in the economy. This phenomenon has a name. It's called Thiers Law. The idea is named after the 19th century French statesman Adolphe Thiers, who observed that when people are free to choose between different forms of money, the stronger money tends to win. To understand this better, it helps to compare it with another well-known principle, Gresham's Law. Gresham's Law is named after the English financier Thomas Gresham, who advised Queen Elizabeth I in the 16th century. Historically, rulers sometimes reduced the silver content of coins by mixing silver with cheaper metals like copper. This practice was known as debasement. The coins looked almost identical and kept the same official value, but people quickly noticed the difference and chose to spend the coins with less silver while keeping the ones with more silver. Over time, the high-quality coins disappeared from circulation, while the debased coins remained in everyday use. This is the dynamic described by Gresham's Law. Thiers' Law describes what happens under different conditions. When people are free to choose which money they use in everyday transactions, different currencies begin to compete. Imagine what happens when trust in a currency starts to fade. At first, nothing dramatic changes. People still receive their salaries in the local currency. Shops still accept it. Taxes are still paid in it. But quietly, behavior begins to change. The first change usually appears in savings. Instead of keeping their savings in the weaker currency, people move them into something more stable. It might be a foreign currency. It might be gold. It might be other scarce assets. Then businesses start to notice the same problem. If prices remain in the weak currency, inflation quickly erodes their revenue, so they begin quoting prices in a more stable unit. Gradually, trade begins to follow. Larger purchases, long-term contracts, and important transactions increasingly happen in the stronger money. The weaker currency usually does not disappear overnight. People may still be paid in it, but many exchange it as soon as they receive it. They hold it only briefly, just long enough to convert it into something more stable. Over time, the stronger money begins to dominate the most important economic functions. Economists often observe this process during periods of high inflation. In countries experiencing severe inflation, people frequently begin using foreign currencies like the US dollar for savings, trade, and even pricing goods. Economists call this process currency substitution or dollarization. This dynamic is known as Thiers' Law. Money does not survive because governments declare it valuable. It survives because people trust it. And when people are free to choose, the money that preserves value tends to win. In simple terms, Gresham's Law explains what happens when different forms of money are forced to circulate at the same official value. In that situation, bad money remains in circulation, while good money disappears into savings. Thiers' Law describes the opposite environment. When people are free to choose which money they use, stronger money gradually takes over. And over time, the money that preserves value tends to win. If you found this helpful, consider subscribing for more videos explaining the economic principles behind money and crypto.